they will definitely come. Many times what happens, most of them are busy. Even there is a message from Vidya Rao that there is a electricity issue in her house. She will join once it come back. No issue. So ma'am, I welcome you to the session. In fact, it's really wonderful to have on this particular platform. Even though we don't have the live audience right now, but we'll be definitely getting offline audience afterwards. That is for sure. Before we start, I'd like to give a brief introduction about you. In fact, the introduction video we have already shared on our YouTube channel. Dear participant, today we have with us Dr. Indu Muzumdar ma'am. She is faculty with DBM, Department of Business Management, and we are lucky to have her here because again, the resource person which we are having on our platform, almost all of them have cleared their exam in their first attempt. And Dr. Indu Muzumdar madam is again one of the resource person who has cleared her exam in the very first attempt. In fact, none of our resource person has taken twice. So this is what we can learn from all our resource persons. Madam is having a very good teaching experience at DBM as well as few more institute in Pune. She has published plenty of research paper in national, international journal, and she has contributed a lot, especially for PhD exams which are held in the department. I again welcome you, ma'am, to the session, and to this guidance camp. So without wasting further time, I request you, ma'am, to please proceed with your presentation. And in between, if somebody joins, then definitely we will be having a question and answer session at the end. We have Rajat with us at present. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Rajat, for joining us today.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, I'm a very humble person, so somebody says something about me, seems so unreal.
No, it's in fact, I don't have your biodata right now in front of me. Whatever it was there, I was able to recall. That is what I said about you. But
thank you so much.
But it was not surely in detail. In fact, we can go to a depth, and in fact, the best quality which you are having is your humbleness. We all know about it. Thank you so much. Please.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, let me get to the session. A very good evening to all of you. Rajat sir, Gurudev sir, thank you for being here, spending valuable Sunday time. It's really very heartening, but unfortunately, this was the only time when I could engage this session. That's why I requested Gurudev sir to allot me this time for this session. But one thing is for certain, once we go to the whole session, you will understand that you need not go to this topic again when you will be preparing for your next or set. So I have compiled everything, summarized everything in such a way that it will be helpful for all those participants who are attempting for their NET or for their national eligibility test or their state eligibility test. Also, if somebody is going in for their PhD entrance test, for them also the session will be highly informative. Because what we have done over here is that we have, thanks to whatever guidance we received from Dr. Mukul Gurpati sir, I have tried to compile, I have tried to summarize, to bring into short everything that can be encompassed into the basic understanding of research aptitude and quantitative techniques. Since this is such a topic that is very vast, I have divided it into part 1 and part 2. Today I will be covering a part 1. Because that will be the only time I think we will be able to get. But what I have done is that I have already circulated a Google form, a quiz type, Google quiz, which you can all attempt, or we all must have attempted. After this session, those who haven't, I request them to go through this attempting of this Google quiz. This will give you a basic understanding of what type of questions that can come out. And let me tell you all those questions which I have put up in the first paper of mock test, a compilation of all the questions that has been asked in the previous year's papers of written set. Because that is how I prepared myself for my set examination. What I realized, I went through the syllabus very crucially, and I stuck to the syllabus. Whatever was given to in the syllabus, point to point, I studied only those parts. I did not go outside, because you have to understand if they are asked only 5 questions out of one topic. So those questions will be more or less 90% they will be asking you about the basics. They won't be going into the critical part. So your basic regarding that topic should be very clear. And yes, before going for your net set, let me request all of you that please try to solve as many papers as you can get. Online papers are available. Like Gurmate sir, he has also made efforts into giving the mock test, because I requested him, I gave, and he added more questions to it, so that's a huge bank that you have got. You can attempt it and you can understand where you are for this particular topic. Especially for this topic, let us make an effort that once we are finished with this session, we need not go into all these into details when we are summarizing for our lesson exam. So without wasting any time, let me start.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir, I am sharing my screen. Will it be okay, sir?
Yes, please.
So yeah, let me. I'm trying to. Okay. So basically, this is paper 1 of research aptitude. So in the UGC net of paper 1 for research aptitude and quantitative techniques, what we have got is the topics that we have got under this particular course structure is the meaning of research, types and characteristics of research, approaches to research, methods of research, historical, qualitative and quantitative research, steps of research, thesis and article writing, application of ICT in research and research ethics. Now, what is the new part that has been introduced in this syllabus is the application of ICT in research. So at the end of this presentation, I have added some new slides regarding the application of ICT in research. So that will also give us an overview of what we need to prepare for this particular topic. So as I have told you earlier, for better UGC net or set score, what is most important is that we must be aware of the UGC net exam paper pattern. What type of paper pattern is there? You have to study according to the updated UGC net syllabus. Net or set, it is applicable to all. So according to the updated net syllabus, prepare yourself, stick to the points given in the syllabus. You need not go beyond it, because we have to cover the basics, and whatever is given in the syllabus is the basics. Try to solve previous year question paper. Please solve them, because it will give you the idea, the knack on how you have to attempt your MCQs. And since whatever exam that will be in the MCQ base, try to approach your study on that basis only. Try to understand what can be the alternatives. There can be 4 alternatives, and you may feel that all the 4 alternatives is correct for that particular question. But which is the alternative that will be the most closest correct for that particular question, that you have to analyze and that's how you have to study for your MCQ questions. So we all know this, the exam paper pattern. So we have got paper 1, paper 2. This must have already been discussed with you, but since this is a session on how to attempt the paper, it is my duty to again remind you what type of exam pattern will be there. So we have got paper 1, paper 2. The paper 1 will be of 50 marks. The paper 1 will have. The paper 1 will have 100 questions, 50 questions, and the marks allotted to this paper is 100. Paper 2 will have 100 questions, the marks allotted is 200. So overall the total marks is 150. The total marks is 300 and the total questions will be 150. And you have to solve paper 1 in 1 hour and paper 2 in 2 hours. So we have got ample time to think that because if you take 1 hour has got 60 minutes. So you have more than 1 minute to solve each question. 1 minute is more than enough. Human brain works very fast. It works in millions of seconds. So 1 minute for one question is more than enough. You have got more than 1 minute to think about one question and then to give the answer. Then again the paper pattern, it is divided into 5 parts: teaching aptitude, research aptitude, reading comprehension, communication, reasoning. So teaching aptitude is what all we know. So my advice will be go through the basics of teaching pedagogy. You will find them in B.Ed courses, C.Ed courses. The first part, introduction to teaching. So you can find lot of material there. Research aptitude, we are coming up reading comprehension and communication. Definitely you have to improve on your English skills, grammar skills. Then reasoning is also there. So your analytical skills will be tested over there. Here you have to build up your mathematics. From each of this part, there will be 5 questions asked. 5 from teaching, 5 from research, 5 from reading comprehension, 5 from communication, 5 from reasoning. Then we have got logical reasoning, again your analytical part, data interpretation, statistics will be there, graphical representations will be there. ICT, that has been covered so eloquently in this panel itself. People and environment, and higher education system, governance, policy and administration. You can go through the government policy. There has been certain changes recently. Please go through that. That will be definitely included. So we can see over here the pattern of paper 1. So overall there are from each of this topic 5 questions will be there, and a total of 50 questions are there with a 100 marks. Now for just 5 questions of research aptitude. You know how many slides we have made, how many material we have to collect, how much information we have to plot, because we don't know what those 5 questions will be all about. So I will just take it that out of each of the part of research, out of each of the part of the syllabus of research methodology, 1 question will be asked. So 1 question will be introduction, 1 question will be on research process, 1 question will be on research method, 1 question on ICT of research, 1 question. Definitely I have been going to the past paper that I have seen that on research ethics, many questions, many online questions have been asked. So when you go to the previous year questions, you can understand what type of questions are being repeated over and over again, and you can prepare well. And thus at least out of 5 questions, you can get 4 questions right, or I'm 100% sure that all of you will get 5 questions completely correct for this paper, research aptitude. So then again the paper 2 pattern that I will just we will just go through. Again this is 100 questions. For each question there are 2 marks, so a total of 200 questions. So for research aptitude paper, what you have to do? First of all, analyze the research aptitude questions from the previous year's papers. Again I am saying, when necessary if you want to clear your Neto set. Check out the sections which are asked regularly. Now in the syllabus we can see introduction, research process, research method. Now when you go to this previous papers, you can understand which type of questions are regularly asked, and on that particular section you can prepare it thoroughly. Some of the sections that are asked regularly, as per what I have analyzed, is method of research, type of research ethics, government schemes, hypothesis, steps of research, hypothesis formulation, testing, steps of research, and most of 100 for I think 90% there are chances that there will be a question on the ICT applicability in research. So, but the above, you can always expect questions from the above given topics, because that is what I have analyzed from the previous papers. And this is how you can prepare for this particular topic of course of research aptitude for NET or SET. So let first part. The first part let us cover. We will be covering is meaning of research. What is research? Research is logical and systematic search for new and useful information on a particular topic. Now, what I am concentrating over here is on words, because we are preparing for MCQ questions, MCQ type questions. So, here, what are the words that we need to take into our mind? Uh, okay, okay, sir, I'm sharing, stopping my share, and then I reshare again, sir. Yes, sir, I had put it in the presentation mode, but I think there may be some issues. Sir, I'll get it again, sir. So till which slide were we visible? Can I get a review back? Okay. Oh, okay. So I need to repeat everything over again, sir, or go through it, because I think what was there? Okay. Yes, sir. Sir, is it visible now, sir? Is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll just scroll down and let me know whether the other slides are visible. Okay. Now I put it into the PowerPoint, into the slideshow, and just let me know whether it is visible in the slideshow, because I had it in slideshow. I think there may be some issues with that. So is it visible now? The third slide? Yes, sir, that will be much better. Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir. Is this better, sir? Is this view better? Okay. Yeah, yes, sir. I'm scrolling down. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah. So shall I continue, sir? Okay. So a quick review of what I was. Yes. What we had gone through earlier was regarding how to prepare for this particular topic of research aptitude. So we will just go through the slides quickly and start with the topic. So this is the bifurcation of the marks and the number of questions that will be asked. This is the topics of paper 1. So we have got here 10 topics. From each topic you will be asked 5 questions of 10 marks. And this is for paper 2, 100 questions for 200 marks. So that means 2 marks for each question. So this is how you have to prepare for this particular topic of research aptitude. And then we had started with yes. So let me start from here once again. So what I have done over here is we will be concentrating on certain words in this whole definition or meaning of research. So what are the words when we have to concentrate on when we are introducing or when we are defining research? The first is it is a logical and systematic search for new and useful information on a particular topic. Here the words logical and systematic search. Then the second that we have to take into point is research is a systematic inquiry that provides information to guide managerial decision. Not only managerial decision, any sort of decision. It can be a political, it can be a financial. So we have to know, we have to understand that research can be conducted in any areas, and whenever we are doing a systematic inquiry, that is known as a research. Research is a process of planning, acquiring, analyzing, and disseminating relevant data, information, and insights to decision makers. Now, here, what are the words that are important? Planning. We have to plan. Proper plan has to be made. We have to acquire data. We have to analyze the data that we have acquired, and whatever analysis that we have done on the data, we have to interpret. We have to find out the outcomes from the data. And these outcomes of our findings should be disseminated. It should spread to the necessary sources and thus become a major form of information. Research is an investigation of finding solutions to scientific and social problems. It can be a scientific problem when we do any experiment. That is also a research when we are finding out causes or impact. So that becomes a social problem. So it is an investigation of finding solutions to scientific and social problems through objective and systematic analysis. So what are the words that are important when we are talking about meaning of research? Logical and systematic search, systematic inquiry, planning, acquiring, analyzing, disseminating data and information, investigation of finding solutions to scientific and social problems through objective and systematic analysis. The next is, let us go through the objectives of research. What are the objectives of research? First of all, what do we mean by objective? Why, when, what, where? Why are we doing it? When are we doing it? What are we doing? And where are we doing it? So that we can answer you the question of the objectives of the research. So, what are the objectives of research? We conduct research to discover new facts, to verify and test important facts which are already there. We are verifying whether it is true or not. We are testing it. What can be how those facts will be applicable in different scenarios. Analyze an event or process of phenomenon to identify the cause and effect. How did coronavirus came into being? What were the factors that led to the spread of this virus? So we are doing an analysis, developing new scientific tool, concepts, theories to solve and understand, find out solutions to scientific, non-scientific and social problems, overcome or solve the problems occurring in everyday life. So you can do research on any of these objectives and come to a conclusion that may be useful, for further research, for implementation, for testing. So that comes under the objectives of research. The main features of research. What are the main features of research? So here we need to understand whenever we are talking about main features of research, what are the features that is very prominent when we are doing a research. So the main feature is that it is not confined to only science and technology. For personal purposes, for social purposes, for political purposes, for environmental purposes, it's in innumerable areas you can conduct research. So it is not confined only to science and technology. Again, on this basis of research, we can safely say that research in other disciplines such as language, literature, history and sociology is also there. Which, whatever may be the subject, research has to be active, diligent and systematic. So this here what we are talking about the quality of a researcher. So when we say what is the quality that a researcher should have, we can quite safely say that a researcher should be active. A researcher, what do we mean by active? If you want to collect data, you have to get into the field, you have to communicate, you have to navigate, you have to be smart, you have to understand exactly what you want and how to get it. Diligent, very persuasive, diligently, very persuasive, very diligently, with total commitment you have to undertake the research. And systematic, proper planning has to be done before doing any sort of research. So here what is so if I ask you the question, what are the qualities required for a researcher? You can say he or she should be active, diligent, and systematic. That should be more than enough answer for that. Research identifies the process of inquiry to discover, interpret, or revise facts, events, behaviors, and theories. So you are discovering the things. Whatever already has been discovered, is it applicable in today's world or not? So you are revising facts. There are certain events happening because of the current pandemic situation. People are going into depression. Why are they going into depression? The event is this pandemic situation, this lockdown, and behavior is the depression or the mental status of people, and various other theories that may be scientific or non-scientific in nature. So research basically identifies them and try to process them. Why is systematic research helpful? Because it helps in applying the outcome of the research for refinement of knowledge in other subjects or in enhancing the quality of human life, and it also becomes a part of research and development. So systematic research, when you are what is meant by systematic research? Systematic research means that you are documenting everything. You have proof for whatever you are putting out. So what happens when you put out something with proper proof and backup? It helps in developing knowledge, in refinement knowledge, in enhancing the quality of human life, and also it helps give an impetus to the research and development in that particular area. Okay. Now, why did I put this? Is because when I went through the previous year's question papers for NET and I found out many questions that were being asked regarding qualities of a researcher. So I included this slide. So what are the qualities of a researcher? The first and foremost, you have to understand the researcher should be systematic. He should be diligent, and he should be very active, and he should be very truthful. Whatever may be the outcome of his research, whether it is negative, whether it is positive, whether it is negatively influencing, whether it is positively influencing, it is the duty of a researcher to pass on that information in a proper manner. So let us see the qualities of that is required for a researcher. Nature of a researcher must be of the temperament that vibrates in union with the theme which he is searching. So the researchers should be aligned to whatever research area he is working into. So if you are working on the poverty level, the malnourishment in backward areas, then you should be a part of that NGO, a part of that community that is actually working in the grassroots level with these people. So only then you will be able to conduct a truthful research. Truthful with truthfulness of nature, which is much more important, much more exacting than what is sometimes known as truthfulness. So why truthful? Because many times when you conduct a proper research, when it is a truthful research, the outcome is very valuable. It is conclusive. It is quality output which can be implemented. The other quality that is required of a researcher is a desire for accuracy of observation and precision of statement. Many times you may not get responses, but by observing the behavior of people, by observing the situation, you can understand the actual situation. The researcher should be of alert mind, and he should also be keen and watchful to notice changes, and must have a keen eye on mind to observe the unusual changes in the routine. So what we have seen? So here we have seen the researcher should be active, diligent, systematic, truthful. He should have a desire for being accurate, accuracy of observation. He should have an alert mind. He should be keen. He should be watchful to any changes, and must observe the usual changes in the routine. So, when we talk about a definition to define quality of a researcher, the Queen and Nagel cited that the ability to perceive in some brute experience the occasion of a problem is not a common talent among men. It is a mark of scientific genius to be sensitive to difficulties where less gifted people pass by untroubled by doubt. So, here what they have stated is that a researcher should not only have the above qualities, but he should also be sensitive, he or she should also be sensitive, and he should understand even those common scenarios which is normally neglected by many people. Moral quality of courage, which reflects the courage of a steadfast endurance, courage and sense of conviction. The researcher must learn the art of enduring intellectual hardships. It is a very tough job to be a researcher, please. All those who have got their doctorate degrees, they will certify that. A researcher should cultivate the habit of reserving judgment when the required data is insufficient. So here what means that if your data is insufficient for any conclusive finding, then the researcher must clearly state that and not hide the fact. So now this is the one of the MCQs that I found out in some previous question papers. So this MCQ is which of the following statement is true? If there is somebody online, can you just give me the answer to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Rajat, before attempting this, remember what I told you, told you earlier, how you have to prepare. So the answer which is closest to the question, you have to select that. Okay, or if you find that all these options are correct, then you have to select that. Okay, so try it out, Rajat.
D, all of the above.
Very good. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Because as what we have seen earlier, a researcher should have a logical and systematic research. He should do a systematic inquiry. A research is a logical and systematic research. A research is a systematic inquiry. A research is a process of planning and organizing. All these are correct because they will define the meaning of research. So all of the above statements are correct. 100% marks. You have solved one question out of 5.
Rajat gets 2 marks for this.
Okay, now let us go to the next MCQ. Rajat, sir, let me just clarify that these MCQs I have not included in the mock test.
Right.
Okay, Rajat, can you try this one? Which is the main objective of research? Just think about the same slide which I have put up. What is the main objective of research?
B,
Yes, Rajat, you are not audible.
okay. B, to summarize what is already known.
Absolutely right. Rajat. Absolutely right. Second question, full marks. Third. So here this is the fill in the blanks. You have to select the correct alternative to fill in the blanks. Research is an investigation of finding solution to dash problems through objective and systematic analysis.
B.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Social and scientific. So research is an investigation of finding solution to social and scientific problem through objective and systematic analysis.
Rajat, you can put on your camera if you are comfortable.
Yes.
You can please put on your video so that other also come to know, realize what is the relevance and importance.
So what is the research? This is
What is research? B.
pardon, Rajat? Can I get it again?
C. Working in a scientific way to search for truth of any problem.
Correct. Correct. Very good. Very good. Okay. Choose the correct alternative. Systematic research is important. Why?
B.
Yes, true. So how did you come to this answer? Because you can see that all the parameters which define a research comes into this. Applying outcome of research, refinement of knowledge, enhancing quality of human life. So absolutely correct. B is the right answer. Which of the following proposition is not true about research? Now this is one of the most funniest questions. You know why I found it funny. I'll tell you after Rajat answers this question.
B.
Yes, Rajat, it is not true. Research is not a joyful process. It is a very backbreaking process. So that is absolutely true. Which of the following is the most important purpose of carrying out research and education? Now we have to cover this in our session, but you have to answer it in such a way which is the answer closest to answering your question.
A. To improve the status of the institution.
Okay, but that is not the correct answer. I'll tell you the correct answer is for individuals' personal growth, because now UGC has mandated that if anybody needs a promotion or growth, they have to have a doctorate degree. So the closest answer, correct answer to this question is C, for individuals' personal growth. Okay, shall we go to the next?
Yes, ma'am. Research.
Remember, you have to from all these alternatives, the alternative which is closest to a researcher. So you have to think yourself in this scenario. If you would have been a researcher, what would you have chosen?
In fact, you can use the method of elimination. Rajat, we have already discussed earlier. Try to eliminate which are not, because if it is confusing, we can keep on.
Option A. To figure what's alien to understand.
The answer is D. Pick up a specific area and try to understand in minute details. So here what is that? So you pick up a specific area for research and you study it in detail. So the correct answer is D. Okay. The last question for this part. Remember, why do we give NetSet? Because NetSet exam tests our ability So the correct answer in this case is to identify and screen the candidates with scientific approach, because that is test the ability, research ability of a candidate. Okay. So now let us go to the next. That is the types and characteristics of research. So when we talk about types and characteristics of research, there are three basic types of research. Research which is application based, research which is objective based, and research which is in the inquiry mode. So what do we mean by application based research? Application based research, it means that when we think of a certain machine, so the most important thing is we need to understand how the machine is used, and secondly we need to understand where the machine is used, how it is used and where it is used. So any type of research that comes under particular application part, it comes under the application type of research. So in application research, there are two, it is further divided into two parts: pure research and applied research. Pure research is very basic research. For the first time, research is being conducted in that area. And applied research, whatever pure research has been done, how it can be applied in a particular scenario, in a particular environment. So that becomes your applied research. Objective based research. Objective based, so with a certain objective in our mind, we are conducting this research. We are conducting with the objective of studying a particular characteristic of a human being. For analyzing the impact of a certain scenario on a certain environment, for comparing two situations and the outcome of those situations when it is brought together. So those all becomes your objective-based research. So here there are within objective-based research there are four types of research which is normally conducted. Descriptive research, wherein we are already research has been conducted in this area, and we are on the basis of the past researches we are further conducting research in the same area, trying to find out new scope, new outcome, new niche in that particular research. So that becomes your descriptive research. Exploratory research, when you are exploring a certain situation, how the lockdown has impacted daily wage people. So you are exploring the phenomena. So that becomes your exploratory research. Correlational research, when two variables, the relation between two variables are studied under this. So the relation between income and savings, relationship between the market condition and the demand for a product. So that becomes your correlational research. Explanatory research, this is a relatively new type of research in which you are trying to explain a scenario or a phenomena. So that becomes your explanatory research. In the inquiry mode, we characterize the research into quantitative research and qualitative research. Quantitative research, when we collect the responses from a database, and from the responses that we get, we quantify. We use statistical methods, we use numerical, analytical methods, and we find out the solution. We find out the outcome. So that becomes a quantitative research. Qualitative research, wherein it is mostly how the people are responding, behaving to a certain situation, to a certain brand, to a certain scenario. Mostly qualitative research is conducted in the social viewpoint, when a certain impact is studied on the people. Here, the quality of the response is more important, because through the quality we can understand how the people or how the situation is being affected. So that becomes your qualitative research. You can look into detail into each of these parts, because that will be the other area wherein most questions have been asked. So let us put it into column types of research. descriptive, analytical, applied, fundamental or basic research, quantitative, qualitative, empirical research. So these are the various basic types of researches. Now let us see what is basic or pure research. Basic, pure or fundamental research. Now all the three mean one and the same. Fundamental research, we do when we, it is done when there is a certain occurrence of a particular event or process or phenomena. Such type of research is also called as theoretical research because this is for the first time when we are doing research. We do not have any data that is already available. We are collecting that data, and everything is done through a theoretical form. Study or investigation of some natural phenomena relating to pure science are termed as basic research. So pure science, research based on pure science is also concerned under basic research. It is not concerned with solving any practical problems of immediate interest. So this is not like, trying to find out a solution to a certain problem which is currently happening. That does not come under fundamental research or pure research. This is like, this is when you are trying to find out something, a phenomena, the occurrence of a black hole, so that all comes under pure research. It provides a systematic and deep insight into a problem and facilitates the extraction of scientific and logical explanation and conclusion on it. So you go into the problem, you extract whatever insight you get out of that problem, and you try to find out the most logical explanation and conclusion. So just like Sherlock Holmes says, eliminate all those which are impossible. You have got your solution. So that is how we conduct the basic, pure or fundamental research. How is it therefore it has to build new frontiers of knowledge? The outcomes of basic research forms the basis for much applied research. So all applied research, the predecessor for all applied research is the basic research. Now, researchers working on applied research have to make use of the outcome of basic research and explore the utility of them. So when the researchers, they use this basic research and they apply it, and the outcome of that application comes under the applied research. Research on improving a theory or a method is also referred to as fundamental research. For example, suppose a theory applies to a system provided that the system satisfies certain specific conditions. So here what happens, any theory, how it is applicable, that comes under applied research. But when we are trying to improve a theory or change a theory, then that comes under fundamental research. So, attempts to find the answers to the following questions from basic research. Why are materials like that? What are they? How does a crystal melt? So, these are some of the questions of pure science. Science-based, fundamental in nature. Why does supply increase with increase in demand? What is the elasticity of demand? So these are all fundamental research. On the basis of this research, market applications they come out. So that becomes your applied research. So all the famous theories of physics, laws of maths, laws of economics, all those comes under basic research. What is applied research? In applied research, one solves certain problems employing well-known and accepted theories and principles. So here what is happening, the theory and principle has already been researched into, has already been published as a part of the basic research, and the application of that particular theory in actual life, that comes under applied research. We know what a teaching pedagogy is, and when we are applying it practically, when we are teaching students, that becomes your applied research. So when we are applying it, that is your practical, and when the outcome of that application comes, that becomes your applied research. Most of the experimental research, case studies, interdisciplinary research are essentially applied research. Applied research is helpful for basic research because without practical application, basic research does not have any say. So it is very helpful for basic research. In applied research, the outcome has immediate application. Any outcome that has immediate application is also termed as an applied research. So, when we talk about applied research are practical to use in current scenarios, like research on social problems. So, when we say that impact of microcredit on deprived section of the, so we are studying application of this particular theory or this particular strategy of providing small credits to the poor. How is it improving their socio-economic condition? So the first part, when we study the application, that becomes your applied research. Applied research is concerned with actual life research such as research on increasing efficiency of machine, increasing rate factor of production, material pollution control, dairy vaccination, for disease, etc. They all have potential applications. So whatever that has got a practical application as per the need of the current scenario, that comes under applied research. Difference between fundamental research and applied research. The purpose of fundamental research is to expand your knowledge. For the purpose of applied research is to understand the usage and the results out of the usage of the fundamental theory to improve the understanding of particular business management problem, business solution to the problem, new knowledge to a problem that has got very limited solution. Also, fundamental research helps in finding out significant and value to society in general. Applied research has got more practical relevance and it is more valuable to managers, to organizations, etc. Fundamental research can be taken by people at intellectual level in university by high class researchers, but applied research is normally conducted by organizations, also by universities also, wherein objectives are set, negotiated in order to conduct this research. It is not objective based applied research. For fundamental research, the time is flexible. There is no time. We are testing something that may take a lot of time. So it is a flexible time scale. Applied research, the time is limited. It is within this period you have to complete this research. So it is a tight time scale. Descriptive and analytical research. Descriptive research, it consists of surveys, facts, inquiries. The main objective of descriptive research is describing the state of affairs as it is relevant in the prevailing time of study. This is the most important thing that you have to understand. Descriptive research, you are describing how the healthcare system is working in this COVID situation. So, descriptive research. It is also termed as ex post facto research. Why? Because it is mostly used in social science and business research. So, impact after it has been applied, the impact ex post facto research. The most distinguishing feature of this method is the researcher has no control over the variables. He or she has to only report what is happening or what has happened and how that impacted the people. So this is basically you are describing what is current situation, a particular phenomena, a particular condition, how the online education is affecting the eyesight of school children. A study on so what the condition is what? We know that it is a lockdown, all the schools are taking on online classes, students are sitting for 8 to 10 hours in front of the laptop. How is it affecting their eyesight? So this is a type of, so this becomes a descriptive research. The majority of ex post facto research projects are used for descriptive studies, in which the researcher attempts to examine the phenomena such as consumer preference, frequency of purchase, shopping, etc. So it is done after the actual occurrence happens. The method of research adopted is conducting of descriptive research is survey method of all kinds, including correlation and comparative method. So, correlation between two variables, so comparison between two time periods. In analytical, so that is descriptive research. What is analytical research? In analytical research, the researcher has to use already available fact or information and analyze them to make a critical evaluation of the subject. So here, the facts are available with me. So I know that out of 100 students, almost 50 students have got eyesight problem because of sitting in front of laptop for 8 to 10 hours every day due to online school education. So how is that affecting the society on the whole? It is how is it affecting the students' mentality, physical structure, their parents, the society, the economy. So here you are analyzing the situation. So already the facts are available for information, and you are making a critical evaluation of that subject on how it is impacting on each and every factors that is dependent on that particular information. So that becomes your analytical research. Going to next, exploratory research. What is exploratory research? It is conducted for a problem that has not been clearly defined. So, the origin of coronavirus, COVID-19. We know the problem. We know from where it originated. We know, but how, when, why, all these we do not know. So, we do not know, it has not been clearly defined till today. We do not know what all complications will be there for patients who have already suffered from COVID. We can hear a lot of things that are going on currently. So here we are in a very unstable state regarding this particular medical emergency pandemic. So here, what type of research can be conducted? Exploratory research. It often occurs before we know enough to make a conceptual distinction or posit an explanatory relationship. So here, what happens? We do not have any proper idea. We are still exploring on it. So how does exploratory research? It helps in determining the best research design, data collection method, and selection of subject in order to find out a conclusive outcome. So let us make a comparison between exploratory and descriptive research. Exploratory research means a research conducted for formulating a problem for more clear investigation. We need to find out the clear problem in order to make a clear investigation. Descriptive, we are trying to explain, we are trying that explore and explain an individual group or a situation. Objective of exploratory research to provide insights and understanding. In exploratory research, we develop hypotheses, testing statements. In descriptive research, to test specific hypotheses, we need to understand the relation, correlation, and describe the characteristics and function. Overall design of exploratory research is flexible, while for descriptive research it is very rigid. Flexible because we do not know what we need to define the problem itself before coming to an outcome. So it is overall design is flexible. Research process in exploratory research is unstructured, whereas in descriptive research it is structured. Sampling, which is normally sampling technique, which is taken for exploratory research, is non-probability sampling because it do not have a definite population. In descriptive research, it is a probability sampling, so the population is defined here. Structure, there is no structural predefined data for analysis, there is no previous research in exploratory research. In descriptive research, we have got previous research, so that becomes a part of our plan design for analysis. exploratory research is tentative. The outcomes are always tentative. Why tentative? Because this is based on something which is very vague. In descriptive research, the finding results is conclusive. Outcome of exploratory research generally followed by first search, whereas in descriptive, the findings can be used as an input for decision making. So, exploratory research in the scope is always future research in the particular area, whereas in descriptive, it can lead to certain strategies, model development, etc. So that becomes your outcome. Applied versus fundamental. So, I think we will go to the next one. Okay. Applied research, when we talk about applied research, the principal objective of applied research is to find a solution to some pressing or practical problem. The objective of the basic research is to find information with a broad base of application and add to the already existing organized body of scientific knowledge. So applied research, application, basic research, already existing theory or facts. Historical research. What is historical research? So any past data, when you are evaluating any data that is already of the research on which the data has already been collected, so that becomes your historical research. A systematic collection and evaluation of data to describe, explain and understand actions or events that occurred sometime in the past. FDI investment in India in the year 2019-20. We are in the year 2020-21. So 1920, whatever data will be there regarding FDI investment, that becomes the historical data. You can get it from our Reserve Bank portal publications, and the research done on that will be your historical research. There is no manipulation or control of variables because the data is there, it is available there, it cannot be changed, it cannot be manipulated. An attempt is made to reconstruct what happened during a certain period of time as completely and accurately as possible. So, why was there an increase in FDI in 1920? What will be the what you can derive from it? What will be the FDI investment in 2021? So you can reconstruct what had happened and how it can affect the future. So that comes under historical research. Remember, for historical research, we do not form any hypothesis because the data is already there. You are just reconstructing and you are trying to find out an outcome. So for historical research, more or less, we do not we do not create hypotheses. To make people aware of what has happened in the past, so the purpose of what is the purpose of historical research? To make people aware of what has happened in the past, learn from the past, apply them in present day-to-day problems, make predictions, test hypotheses concerning the relationship or trends. Now here, the hypothesis form that will be on relationships or trends. That will be not for any solutions. So here you can just understand the relationship and what the trend will be. If you are investing in shares, you will understand that how the share trends for a particular industry, and on the basis of that trending, you will invest in the shares of that company to understand present educational practices and policies more fully. So here, what is happening? Historical research is utilized. Quantitative versus qualitative. Quantitative research relates to aspects that can be quantified or can be expressed in terms of quantity. Here you can use variable statistical, econometric models for analysis. The correlation, regression, time series analysis, etc. are also used for under quantitative method. Whereas qualitative research is concerned with qualitative phenomena, or more specifically the aspects related to a evolving quality or kind. So when we talk about the impact of motivational techniques on employees, or impact of certain behavioral aspect on a person, so that will come under a qualitative research.
The main aim of qualitative research is discovering and underlying motives and desires of human beings by using in-depth interviews. So mostly the type of method for qualitative research is interview and also observation. The other technique employed in such research is story complete. So yeah, what you are doing when you are doing group discussion, it's a qualitative type of selection. So case study, qualitative type of research. So here, what are you doing? You are trying to find out situation and how it is impacting a certain case, a certain person. So that becomes your qualitative research. Qualitative research is particularly significant in context of behavioral science relating to human behavior. Some research helps to analyze the various factors that motivate human being behave in a certain manner. It is a so qualitative research, how a particular human behaves on certain given conditions. So all that comes under qualitative research. The next, conceptual versus empirical research. So conceptual research is basically done by philosophers and thinkers when they are developing new concepts. Empirical research is based on observation or experience of researchers or previous researchers, and it is often based upon research that has already been conducted earlier. Empirical research is also known as an experimental type of research in which it is important to first collect the fact, their sources, and actively take steps to stimulate the production of desired information. So here we first formulate a working hypothesis for empirical research, and then on the basis of that hypothesis we form the questionnaire and then gather sufficient facts to prove the stated hypothesis. Other types of research based on time, we have got one-time or longitudinal time series research. So here the research is restricted to a single period. We have got laboratory research, field setting research, simulation research. So these are all various types of research. Under such researchers, in-depth study approach, case study method. So all these comes under other types of research. The research will be explanatory, formalized on the basis of research studies consisting of substantial structure and specific hypothesis, or historical based on historical documents as we have discussed earlier, and utilizing that data in order to predict what we can do in the future or eliminate whatever circumstances that has arose in the past. So that becomes an historical research. Two or more variables. We are not influencing the variables. So when we say the relationship between income and savings, the relationship between credit facilities and socio-economic condition, the relationship between level of education and job opportunities. Because of correlational research, so high IQ and high GPA, relationship between low economical conditions, domestic violence. So we have seen all. Okay, some of the MCQs from previous papers of NET. A doctor studies the relative effectiveness of two drugs of dengue fever. His research would be classified as what type of research is it?
Experimental research.
Yes, because we are trying to find we are trying to find out the effectiveness of two drugs of dengue fever. So his research would be classified as. Can I get it once again? I didn't hear. Can I get the answer once again, please?
Experimental research.
Yes, because we are trying to experiment the effect of the drug for that particular for that particular sickness. Perception means perception in research means
B. A conceived idea.
so when we talk about perception, what do we say? What is our perception? What is our perception?
Preconceived idea about
Can I get the answer again? If anybody has answered,
B.
can I get the answer again, please? Conceived idea, right? Correct. Because we are conceiving an idea, and on that idea we are working on. So perception means a conceived idea. Action in research means action. When we are saying action in research means
C. Option C.
so action in research means a research initiated to solve an immediate problem. So when we are acting on it, that means action. So here a research initiated to solve an immediate problem. Then which of the following variables cannot be expressed in quantitative terms? Here the answer is D. Professional attitude. Remember, for quantitative terms, it is normally regarding human behavior or human responses. So here's A. Socioeconomic status means how the income is impacting the social conditions. So that can be quantified. Marital status, how many couples are married, unmarried. So that can be quantified. Numerical aptitude, it can be quantified. The thing that cannot be quantified is the professional attitude. So the answer is
D.
D. Professional attitude. D. Then next. If a researcher conducts a research on finding out which administrative style contributes more to institutional effectiveness, this will be an example of
Applied.
very good. It is an applied research because you are studying the application
Of a certain style, administrative style. Very good. Newton gave three basic laws of motion. This research is categorized as
Fundamental research. Fundamental research.
yes, because this three basic laws of motion was given by Newton. So it is a fundamental research. Then control group condition is applied in control group. So here what is happening? You are controlling the environment of a group. You are putting them into a same group and how they are reacting to that environment. So this is applied in
Experimental research.
experimental research. Absolutely correct. Absolutely.
In fact, it seems, madam, Rajat is thorough with most of the things.
yes, sir.
Almost
yes, sir.
all
He is.
answers he has given is correct actually. Most of the answers.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, I will go. Absolutely.
Before the lecture, I went through slides, so I have
Exactly.
idea.
That is important. That is what I was telling to all the participants. Go through the slides and then attend the lecture, right?
Rajat, I hope it is not Google Baba ki death. Yes.
No.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
The principal of a school conducts an interview session of teachers and students with a view to explore the possibility of their enhanced participation in school programs. So this will be which type of research?
Evaluation research. Evaluation.
So here what we are doing, here we are trying to find out how the participation of the faculty and students in a school program will how it can be increased. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are using the action research. This is an action-based research. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ex post facto research means ex post facto research means ex post facto. We have done this. Historical research.
Yes.
A research which is carried out after the incident.
After the incident. Yes.
Yes. A research stream of immediate application is
Action research.
action research. Very good. Okay, so we are finished with that topic, with that part. So let us go to approaches to research. Good day, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, how much time do I have got? Sir, there are lot many slides, but sir, can I request to go to the ICT part for research? Sir, can I go to the ICT part of research? Okay, because yes, sir. Sir, what I will do is I will share a video of this whole slide with you, so that can be put up.
Okay.
Okay, or we can cover it up in the next
Yeah, whatever way you comfortable, because
session, sir.
Yeah,
Because there are not many new things, but ICT part is. Hello.
yes, madam. You're
Yes, sir.
You're audible. Yes.
Yes, sir. Also, can I have one more slot so that we can finish it
Yes,
with parts?
in fact, we need it. And madam, what is happening? Because of this gap, actually, I do not know. Students, they lost their tempo, or maybe they are busy also. So I think we'll have another session, and we'll try to cover up remaining portion there. And
Yes, sir.
and your second PPT in that second portion, I meant to say. So I think for today it's sufficient to start with. In fact, this was a sort of breaking the ice session, because plenty of gap was there. So I think, ma'am, you can conclude, and so we can conclude.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, session in the next part, and I hope more students will join us so that we can have an interaction also.
Yeah.
Just be ensured that if you are there for these sessions, definitely you won't have to look into this part again when you are going for the exam, when you are preparing for the exam. So, sir, let me end this session for today.
Okay.
Can I end this session for today, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And Rajat, do you have any queries for today's session?
Actually, sir,
Yes, sir.
after ending the topic, ma'am gave MC, so lot of my queries were sorted out there.
Yes, good. and Rajat, you performed very well. In fact,
Thank you so much, Rajat. So my idea of ensuring that whoever attends this session will not need to go through this topic again, I think that will be successful, I think.
right.
Yes.
In fact,
Thank you.
ma'am, it's all because of your presentation and the style of presenting it. He was able to answer almost all questions. Almost all. Yeah, barring one or two. And if he performed the same way in the examination, it is for sure that he is going to clear it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely. That is all my best blessings to you. And I am 100% confident that you will succeed in this. 100%.
Yes, ma'am.
Just remember, form the strategy when you are preparing for it. Form the strategy. Formulate the strategy. And I'm good today, sir. Can I say something for you, sir?
Yes,
Sir, I'm so happy for this platform.
I'm so happy for this platform. I definitely wished something like this when I was preparing for my NetSet. I think kudos goes to you and your team for making this platform.
Thank you so much, madam. In fact, this is what I'm trying to tell all the participants.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, in fact, we are getting so good resource person, and it is out of the relation. So you are putting so much of time preparing the slides and taking out on this friendship day. Actually, the people are enjoying out there, and we are studying over here. But anyway, it's part of preparation. And every day I've been telling the student that you make it a point that every day at least 15 minutes or half an hour you try to go through something at least, because that will keep up the tempo and that will keep you updated, abreast also.
Right, sir.
Because
Very
11th
good.
hour preparation
Very good.
many times do not pay actually. 11th hours preparation, we have a habit of doing it 11th hour, but that is not going to help in at least net set. यूनिवर्सिटी एग्जाम एंड ऑल दैट इज ओके फाइन, एक बार पढ़ लिया तो ठीक है, निकल गया तो निकल गया. This requires lot of slogging actually. NET examination, NET and we all know it because syllabus, even though it is very defined, but it is very vast in nature. So we need to be thorough with almost all the concepts and fundamentals. So it was wonderful, ma'am, actually listening to you. Thank you so much for sparing your time.
Thank you so much.
And let us meet again probably on next Sunday or whenever we get a time. We'll be scheduling that particular session. So we'll be covering up the remaining portion over there. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Definitely, sir. Sir, as I have told you earlier also, I'm so thankful to you for giving me this opportunity, and my whole support and cooperation is there, sir. Wherever you
Thanks a
need
lot,
it,
ma'am.
sir.
And we need people like you who support this cause,
Thank you
because
so
see,
much.
there is no guidance
Okay,
available.
okay.
The unfortunate part is at our time it was not there at all, not there. Nowadays it is there, but something where you can lively interact with the person who has already cracked that exam. So again, thanks,
Right, sir.
thank you, and good night to both of you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rajat. Thank you.
Thanks.